and we do this as fans, and what hurts me is when misinformation and like bad misinformation, and now you hear that word a lot because it's true, and people that are targeting this system, this company, and saying slanderous lies against this company, and attacking the fans for actually loving this and supporting a new idea of a simple pick up and play video game console. Really, that's all it is. It's something that's fun. It shouldn't have this much drama and hate. And that is another reason why I'm doing this right now. And first we're going to get into this trash article with someone that obviously hates the CEO and wants to just, I'm not going to get into all the connections, but there's a lot of people targeting directly and putting this stuff out there just to hurt the company, not wanting this to come out and to kind of slander us because, wow, how could we like something so simple and dumb? Well, you know what? I love it. Why is the television quiet again? No deep. Well, they're working very hard to bring this out in a few months. So there you go. That's the reason. That's it. I'd rather them work on that than see any type of silly video. But we will be seeing some deep dives soon. I know that. Radical Gamer Guy says, is Phil going to get an update? Not this week. Not
and immediately regret all my life choices.
I hope we can hear something by end of year, but once again, I am not the company. Because like I said, I like to grin ear to ear every time I come on, and I want to say stuff to you, and but I cannot. But like I said, don't think that that's bad news because I'm like, we're not saying nothing or they're not saying anything, but Amico's very happy.
And say I wouldn't expect another notification until first quarter.
Answer this real quick. I have a quick response for this. Why do guys have so much faith in Tommy? I'll tell you, the dude has never failed anything he's ever done in his whole career. And I have complete faith in this company and everyone else, including Tommy, on this.
Well, why has it got to be about 100%. Tommy? Like, there's Tommy is not Intellivision is not Tommy either. Like, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing. Like, well, what gives you faith in Tommy? What gives me faith in everybody else on the team? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of a silly question. I mean, I'll answer what gives you faith in Intellivision. Listen, if they were any other company, they would have been out of business by now, but they had the right people in place and it got them through a tough time. They've still been able to raise money. They're still here. They're still working to get units out. And Phil even said on Mike's, I think it was Mike's show, Mike's show or my show, he's like, the Amico will release consoles in 2022. And
my response to this is simple. It doesn't hurt me to wait.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what's it hurting with me leaving the $100 in there and waiting? That doesn't have
I don't have $10,000 invested. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I don't have anything invested except for the physical games that I bought under good faith that the console's going to come out. If it doesn't come out, I have a collectible piece of gaming history. It happens.
How many games are fully finished? I'd say a lot. I just don't know what is and what isn't. I'm pretty sure like most of the pack-ins, I'm guessing. Although I didn't play all the
ask any developer and they're going to tell you, is a game ever truly finished?
Yeah, I think most of the times they're gonna like you're gonna kind of just keep updating until it's out, you know. So I think right now, because I know that was happening with Cornhole, they had it done, but it was just kind of a simple toss game. And then they went back and they're just kind of tweaking different ways they can add features to it. So yeah, I think that's kind of cool.
They can only make it better at this point.
And I think that's a lot of the confusion with it. People are like, well, why aren't any of the games done? Well, a lot of the games are in a state that they could already release them, but since they have extra time, they're just trying to go back and tweak them.
Exactly.
Because they have time.
Yeah, that's basically what they're doing it.
Yeah.
Sega Snatcher wants to know if the built-in games are completed.
Well, I answered that question somewhat before. I'm not going to get into the details of that, other than to say that, like I said before, some have passed Gold Master, some are in that phase, some are about to enter.
But you can. I know when you and Phil were on with me last month, you did answer this, so you could clarify again, just for people who didn't see that. The new mechanic that you guys worked on in Cornhole, the one that you showed, you and Tommy showed in the video tour, that is there and functional.
Yes. Right. And that's where we added the ability to control like the arc angle and your position and where you're targeting as a separate function that you do on the controller. And then you do the power is kind of your throw. The power does your throw does the power and also a bit of whether it kind of goes left or right.
You definitely want to know, but we do know that quiet time is now over, right? Well, at least we think it is. Nothing's official, but I will tell you this. Because I know a lot of people want to know a lot of stuff that's going on. I want to know a lot of stuff that's going on. Excuse me. Air conditioning, it's chilly and dry down here. I have reached out to Intellivision, to my source, my little birdie, and asked. I said, "Hey, the quiet time's over. What's happening? When can we expect some news?" And that's really all, because I don't know anything yet. But I was told that the news will be dropping either in the next couple days. If it doesn't hit by end of week, it'll be beginning of next week for sure. They will have a statement, an announcement. It seems to be very good news, but I don't know. But I mean, obviously, it's if they're going to make a statement, I would think it's going to be good. Oh yeah, that's awesome, man.
How's it going, by the way, Dazed? How you doing? Good to see you.
They're ready to manufacture these pilot units, if you want to call them. I'm going to call them pilot units, pretty much, and put those out.
I would hope so. They didn't say they're ready to manufacture, so there is a possibility they can run into another, and that's a concern. That okay, we're getting this notice that they've found this bug. It really held them up. It was delayed what they wanted to do, and now they think they will be able to get to the point of getting those pre-production units out within a few weeks, and that is to an extent something of what we heard in June. And I know finding these bugs are part of that process, and resolving these issues are why you do that process to begin with. But you would want them to be at the point that they are ready to go into pre-production. Yeah. Unfortunately, because they're so delayed, you also want them to give us something of an indication that things are still moving forward or where they are. So I would like for them to be ready for production, but I think they still might have a few final things to do, and they felt the need to at least get this out, at least to let us know the stuff that they did.
Have a salad, sweet and tender.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand, but I mean, I don't know. What did Intellivision mean with them starting manufacturing? Are they starting to actually make Amigos for the customers? They went into production. That means they're preparing for manufacturing. So that means they're getting their stuff together. They're getting their everything together to start the manufacturing process. It's a formal, and let me pull up that email. I just trying to get through chat here. I'll throw up the email, and it says formal production, meaning pre-production is they're planning. Their formal production is getting things ready. So let's go ahead and pull that up here. I got it. Oh, it's not gonna. Okay, we can still talk. Okay, I just want to make sure we can still talk.
Your pre-production can also include
Merlin Online. Here we go. I have Merlin Online. You guys don't have that. So there was a few things and I have it on here for. So they've updated their FAQ page. So if you want to, everybody was asking about that. All the new, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? A lot of stuff. We're fans as well. I know we went to a couple events, but this is your best place to get information, not from me, but we do appreciate. We do know a few things, but the FAQ is all updated now. So a lot of these questions that everybody asked, they pulled out and asked for people what they wanted to ask. So check that out on their website. Obviously the first deep dive. I heard a rumor that there's a deep dive coming out tomorrow, maybe. And our next one in line, I believe, was Astro Smash, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of cool.
No, I want to see the new games. Dang it!
Well, it's supposed to be a deep dive.
No, I want to see a deep dive on a new game.
Saving the best news for last, the entire team at Intellivision is excited to announce we completed our pre-production, started our formal production of Amico consoles. We are focusing on our initial launch units that will start to ship first to our first customers, which is the founders' customers, as soon as possible. They'll have more accurate shipping information by the end of the year. So that's exciting. That is cool. So basically, they're prepping everything for manufacturing. That's what this means. So that's a big win. I mean, that's with all this time we've waited and all the pandemic and everything and the shipping and the parts and this is a very good news. And what is the cursor spelling? If you could figure out what it's spelling, then you are a winner. All right.
What the hell are you talking about? What I just 100% don't buy at all is the white knighting. That's what I just don't buy in the least, that this is about them being nervous, and really making sure that people aren't scammed out of something.
Concerned.
That's
trolling.
the part. Yeah. I just wish they'd be a little honest about that. Come on.
But they have to save us from ourselves.
Because startups don't go under every 12 seconds in the US. I mean, that's
I'm going to jail, by the way, guys.
I mean, if you're that concerned, start looking at where your phones come from and start trying to save the world that way. I mean, because this is ridiculous.
Right. If you want to talk about scams, everyone here has a cell phone, and I can tell you exactly.
Go look at go look at a lithium ion.
Right. I've worked at phone companies, and I can tell you right now, they 100% encourage salespeople to kind of scam y'all out of money.
It gets real dark when you start following how phones are made.
Right. Not even just that. I said, people, for example, as a sales rep, we are told to try to encourage customers to buy the best plan, which is usually the most expensive. And then when you get that best plan, we're also encouraged to tell you about the special features of stuff so when we have an 80-year-old person, when we have an 80-year-old person or somebody coming in for a grandmother, I just need a simple phone for my mother who's 70 years old. And it's okay, but they want us to sell them a top tier phone. A 70-year-old woman is not going to use an iPhone. Some of them do, sure, good on them, but they don't need an iPhone, dude.
It smelled good, didn't it?
That was good. That was good.
Warm onions.
So I do want to make a slight announcement. No one get your panties in a bunch after I say this. All right.
Too late.
Right. Oh, they're all bunched up here. We're already up, and we're off the rails already. We have been since the beginning.
We didn't have rails.
But there was never any rails. You're right. It's a gravel road with many ruts that go all over the place.
Pretty much.
And a big gourd and a big to the right of it.
So I want to make an announcement. We are taking a vacation from Amico Forever. So you guys know. So this will be yeah, right. Boo. I am not giving up on Amico. 100% still supported. I'm still testing. I absolutely love it. There's a lot of stuff I myself need time to do, and there's a couple shows I have ideas for, and a bunch of other stuff I want to pursue. So until we get in like Amico news again, I don't want to change the show. I want to keep Amico Forever. I don't want to change the name. I don't want to end it. I don't want to turn it into a different show. I want to keep this panel with Rab speaking his knowledge, with Nick being the voice of reason, with me making zero sense and just being a goofy fanboy.
Phoenix bringing the shine.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It works exactly. It absolutely works, and I want to
look at the screen. Otherwise, I'll go blind because of his forehead.
So I want to keep it Amico Forever, and it will go on forever. We are just going to take, I guess, a spring break, a little vacation. But as soon as there is solid Amico news and no one cry, stop crying, everyone.
I don't even know if
we will be back.
We do need a.
But I'm sorry, Rab. You said you do have some stuff you wanted to mention about the silly video.
I don't know if anyone is going to like my take. I'm going to preface this, I think, first, because we talked a little bit about this yesterday, and because we didn't know how much we wanted to get into this. And I think we were all kind of in agreement that, our show is not a drama show. We're not a gossip show. We're not the latest, hey, he said this, and we're going to cover what someone said type of format. It's not, I think, what Chuck does with his show. I don't see Nick going in that direction at all with his show. I don't really cover that either. I don't think any of us want this to be that kind of show. That said, this is, a breaking thing. It's got a lot of views, this video that H-Bomber guy put out. Yeah. And I think, both, I know, Nick, you saw it, and you and I came to like the same conclusion. I think there was a really good message in that video that we both liked. And I think it was sidetracked by a lot of, look at all of the stuff that Tommy has said. We're going to show that these are a lot of lies that Tommy has said. And we're not really in position to dispute a lot of that. I know certain things that I can turn around and disprove, but that's not really our place. There's some concerns I have with the way things are presented. I don't feel we're reporters, and I have some difficulties with this notion that YouTubers, I know a lot of times, like Review Tech USA will go and say like, oh, I can't believe I let you guys down. I didn't interview Tommy with the hard-hitting questions like I should have. First of all, YouTube was never started as a place for us to build the channel and become reporters, become journalists, be hard-hitting with our questions and get the facts. We're not equipped to do that. My wife was a reporter for over 10 years in 2 major markets in the US. I am not qualified to say I'm a reporter. I am not trained as a reporter. I don't have that kind of training or professional guidance. I don't have those sort of institutional mentors. There's no institution around me. I don't have the resources or the financials or the connections, or I'm not held to any accountability or credibility as a reporter. I am not a reporter. Nick is not a reporter. Chuck is not a reporter. So we are not really getting into the weeds on a lot of this stuff. And I'm kind of frustrated that, we are not resourcing reporters like we should, our news journalists, our reporters, newspapers.
News journalists don't care about this topic.
Of course not. And gaming journalism
would do the oof sound as a fluff piece, and they might talk to 2 people. They're not going to do a 2-hour video on it that basically becomes kind of like a directed point. Look at how bad a person Tommy is. Shame, shame, shame. Mm-hmm. When I can just look at Elon Musk on Twitter and go, this seems tame compared to what I'm seeing on Twitter. There's a lot of millionaires, and most millionaires don't do a lot of really good things. They make a lot of mistakes. They do a lot of stupid stuff. They do a lot of shady stuff. Yeah, and it works for them because they can get away with it because they have a lot of money.
Not only can they get away with it, that's the way of the world. That's the way a lot of industries work. You know, you can.
Am I happy with a lot of the stuff that came out? No. Do I have some questions? Yes. I think the main thing that I thought was kind of both. I wish it had been handled a little bit better in the video, or had been handled more in the video. That kind of became sidelined with this kind of like focused. I suddenly don't like Tommy kind of turn. Was the fact that he was on a really good track for about 30 minutes in the start and like 15 minutes towards the very end, because I watched the whole thing in one stretch. Of going, these people don't get enough credit for the work they do. And that is absolutely 100% correct. There's a lot of people in multiple industries, not just video games, that don't get the credit that they deserve for the work that they do.
But I kind of want to go over some stuff. So the main thing was this whole buzz that Tommy stepped down, or he's no longer, everything's went over to Phil, and it really is the same company. The only thing that has happened, and this is 100% confirmed with Intellivision, is it's just responsibility shifting. I mean, Tommy worked probably the job of like 5 different people. He kind of does that nonstop kind of running, barely getting any sleep kind of thing. And he's really into the creative now, the business side, the meetings and sitting and getting the licensing deal. He was doing all of that. So to kind of, you have Phil there. He's like, well, how about you take over these responsibilities? Because I got a lot going on. And I think they equally came to that. Like, the company is a growing company. It's still what do you want to call a pre-revenue company, because the console isn't out yet, but that may change in a few months. But once again, Tommy has not stepped down. He's 100% owner, president, and decision maker. It just means that Phil can also make those decisions now as a CEO and take over the business. So once again, Tommy has not stepped down. He is not ousted. There's like so much crap right now, like out there, that just needs to stop. I mean, I don't know if you have anything to add to this, but that's, I mean,
yeah, I mean, we've heard a few different things. One of the biggest, gaslighting. Yeah, it's like a new term I had to learn this year, and I like to use it now. But it's true. So what's going on is, you and I have information. Smash JT has put it out there. The information given to us weeks before this announcement was that Tommy decided he did not want to do the role of CEO. He felt like there was better qualified people. He wanted to, it was taking his attention away from content creation, which we know that's where his experience is. He's worked on some of the best 16-bit titles, some of the best 32-bit titles. He's been involved in a lot of game creation over the years, and that's sort of his expertise. He's never been a CEO before. So we knew this weeks ago, and we knew what the narrative was going to be. The narrative is now, oh, he was ousted. The weirdest rumor I've heard so far is that there was a Tommy camp and then a Phil Adam camp, and there was a big divide in the fucking comp. What is this? The fucking Avengers? Like, this isn't Civil War. Like, so we knew about this. That's probably the most bizarre thing I've heard. But now the narrative now the narrative is, well, of course that's what they told you. They like to lie. So it really comes back to the people who are going to have their opinions about Intellivision being nefarious and not being truthful. Those people are just going to continue to have their opinions on that. And no matter what you say or what we show, it doesn't matter to them. So in my opinion, they are not, as to steal a line from one of our friends in the chat who's been on my show, they are not worth my time. Because they do not care about the truth. But for those that are in the chat who are Intellivision fans and are excited for the Amico, that is the truth. That's what we were told weeks before this even happened. Probably about a month ago, actually.